Right, it is a gorgeous but icy cold day here at Common Farm between fashionable Bruton and up-and-coming Wincanton here in sunny Somerset. Today, sunny, very attractive, -5 last night. And I'm making a series of little posies, really little ones, not big fat ones, which are going to be tucked into a garland. So my client has a garland all the way along their mantelpiece. Their drawing room is full of Christmas decorations, but they also like regular flowers to keep it fresh. So I'm going to make, instead of my usual relatively large arrangement, I'm going to make a series of dinky posies which can be tucked inside the garlanding. So they've got garlanding with Christmas decorations in and things along the mantelpiece, and I'm just going to give them some little fresh flowers to tuck in where they fit along the mantelpiece. It'll be very pretty. So I thought you might like to see how I do it, and it may give you ideas for your Christmas tablescaping. So I'm up here, up the field, as we say here in Somersetshire, where I'm looking for detail. And actually, I'm not taking detail from behind me. I'm going into the wilder patches. There's my falling down barn, whole nother story there. It's very blinding, but there, Monterey pine, that's what I'm cutting. So I'm going to get some detail from up here, and then I'll take you back down and we'll make some posies. Hope you enjoy. Come along. You don't need very much to make a Christmassy look. And do you see these little sprays of Monterey pine with little tiny cones for next summer in there? One of those each will be really, really pretty. And they smell delicious. They smell like a Badet das bath, for those of you who know what a Badet das bath is. So, from the garden, I should be wearing my microphone, I know. From the garden, I've got Viburnum Eve Price. All your flowering viburnums are very good. Have a look. What are you foraging from your garden? It won't be the same as me, but there may be bits out there which really come in handy at this time of year. So, Viburnum Eve Price, lovely variegated holly. The Monterey pine is here. No, that's crab apples. I've got my lovely crab apples. I've got some curly-whirly willow. The leaves are finally coming off after all this frost. The Monterey pine, little bit. Obviously, still, bobbly ivy. The bobbles are very important. And gorgeous, silvery brachioglottis. So that's my base. And then I've got some lovely flowers that I've ordered up from my colleagues in Cornwall. And I've got, I'll show you. I'll show you what I've got. This lovely daisy-like person is Tanacetum, or I call it feverfew. Here, good old Alstroemeria. White Canterbury bells, lovely little narcissi, snapdragons, and this gorgeous Cornish white heather, which I really love and I use a lot at this time of year. Heather lasts and lasts and lasts in water, and even not out of water, put it in a wreath, it'll work really well. And I mustn't forget these dinky little ranunculuses, ranunculi, whatever you want to call them, all the way from sunny Cornwall. So each of my posies is going to have one of each ingredient in them, and I'm missing one important piece, and that's my raffia. And I do appreciate that people at this time of year, particularly in the holidays, are very much time poor. So let's be as quick as we can. Come on then, ready, steady. Don't have to put the whole stem each time. I want something little. 1, 2, just a little bit, little. 3, but it's too big. And I haven't got enough, so I'm going to cut it down. 3, 4. I always do greenery first because it gives a nest for the flowers to sit in. 5. Dinky linky. 6. Pulling the pines off your little bit of Monterey pine or whatever you're using will make your hands smell delicious all day. 7. 8. I could stop there, but let's do a bit more. 9. 10. 11. 12. These are very tall and big, so I'm going to cut them down. 13. And one more for luck. That's 14 stems. So if you were being a florist, like I am, then you can work out your pricing easily. That's 14 stems, a little posy. Tie it up. Make sure your stems are clean because they're going into a glass pot of water and you don't want the water to look dirty quickly because the stems are rotting. So my stems are very clean. Snip my ends off. And even though, be careful at this stage, this is where you cut your fingers off very easily because you get overexcited. So that took 3 minutes and 14 seconds from the minute that I started talking. And it's 14 stems. You can work out what's your time worth. How much did they all cost? Are you going to ballpark it at all? If I weren't talking to you, it would have taken less time. But it's all these things are worth considering when you're making something for a client. And that can now get tucked into the arrangement on the mantelpiece. It's worth noting that there will be a back to this. The wall above the mantelpiece is the back. So the foliage is sort of sticking forwards. Let's make more. I'll show you when I've finished. And there they are, dinky little posies, which I will now take and arrange them in the garlanding on the mantelpiece. And for scale, here's my hand. I'll turn myself around, you can see. I think the reason I talk about how much time they take to make, and in the end, they did take 2 minutes each. And of course, if you're a florist, that's not the whole design process. They also took walking up the field, collecting the ingredients, designing the process in my head so I knew that I was collecting the right ingredients, it was all going to work, and then quickly putting them together. So for floristry, if you're thinking about taking up floristry and making a living at it, which no doubt some of you are, it is so easy not to factor in your time properly. So even if it is only 2 minutes per posy, there are 5 posies, and often I make 20 or 30 or 40 of a repeat pattern. So I have to know how quickly I can make them. I have to have a really good idea of how many stems they're going to take, because if I'm ordering in, I'll need to know how many to order. I mustn't over order because otherwise I'm costing myself money, but I mustn't under order. So it's a swings and roundabout situation. But it also means if I know how long everything's going to take, I know how much I can do in a day. If I don't know how long anything's going to take, I don't know how much help I'm going to need. I don't know when to say no. I don't know when to stop. Anyway, these things are all worth thinking about, but I do hope you like these posies. Personally, I think they're very pretty. The light in here is impossible at this time of year. It's very beautiful in real life, but not on the film. I can see. I'll push these forward so they catch the light, and then they're out of the picture. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the clip. Please do subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks I give you along the way are helpful, please do buy me a coffee. The link to coffee buying is in the blurb to all my clips. Bought coffees sustain the channel very much in that they reassure me that people find what I'm doing interesting and pay me a little bit of money, which means that I then think, oh, well, I'll make another clip because it was worth doing it last time. Perhaps it'll be worth doing again. Anyway, have a lovely weekend, everybody. And if you find you're out making posies, share them on your Instagram. These are 14 stems each. So 2 of them make a 30 stem challenge. There's a thought. So if you do that, then post them on your Instagram and tag me, and I'll share some of the good ones on my stories. Thanks very much. Have a lovely weekend. Bye. And if you're wondering how much I charge for these little posies, you must never ever copy me for my pricing. You have to work your own pricing out. But if you're wondering, I would charge £15 each, not including the jar. The jar belongs to me and is called Come Home. People often ask how we transport our flowers. Well, a little box is always handy. And I've tucked a bit of brown paper between the jars so they don't rattle on the journey or fall over. Very simple.